everybody. So my mom got moved to New England Sinai in Stoughton, and that is quite a hike from where I live, but it gave me an opportunity to check in with everybody. So the retrograde is over, but I did notice like a big shift in the energy. Things were feeling really good for a few days, and then something hit me really hard. And last week, well, I'm gonna go back in time, all right? So in the beginning of my awakening, I was alone. I was searching all this stuff out. I was trying to figure out if I was crazy or if I was a starseed and all that, and there wasn't anybody for me to talk to. There wasn't anybody for me to connect with and get that confirmation and that feeling of like, oh, I'm not the only one, I'm not crazy. And after a few years of doing all of that and feeling like that, I ended up finding groups on Facebook of people who were also starseeds or indigos or whatever. And it was funny because I had looked for Pleiadian groups and I never found any the first time I looked. So I became a member of Indigo Adults, and then a few months later I ended up in the Pleiadian group. And when I joined that group, it was really cool, and it wasn't long before I started talking to Larry Locken, who was an admin for the group and who I had been listening to for years before that on his podcast and his shows that he was doing regularly. But in that group, I met like several other people who I really connected with, and we all ended up becoming admins for the group. We all had like a group chat that we were in. We talked all the time, and one of those people was Derek Thompson. And him and I had this connection almost instantly. Like, I just felt drawn to him and his energy, and I had compassion and love for him on a soul level. And it was funny because he was just so funny. He didn't have the best of everything. He didn't have, things handed to him in life. He lived alone with his cats, and he just offered so much love to everybody. He offered happiness, and I remember we would go back and forth with memes, like fighting with each other, just pretend fighting, but it was just banter back and forth, because a lot of the Pleiadians are very sarcastic, and so sometimes we come off to people and they don't understand or get it, but he always got it. And as things progressed, he started talking about making the Pleiadian humor group. I was like, yeah, do that. So he created it, and I was an admin with him. I'm still an admin in the group, but because my life kind of went in a different direction, I wasn't so much online as much as I was in the beginning, things kind of separated. I don't talk to Larry as often as I'd like to. I don't talk to Natalie as often as I like to, or Raquel, or Derek. But Derek still reached out to me often, and we would talk, and he would book readings, and he was like, just so awesome and authentic, and he knew like what was up. He always knew. And this past couple of months for me, I've been dealing with the stuff with my mom, and he was always so supportive of that, and he would book readings, and he was always like, it's okay if you have to cancel. Sometimes he would have to cancel. And just recently we booked one, and we were supposed to talk last week, and I said, do you still want to do it? And he said, yep. And then later in the night he said, you know what, I have a headache, I haven't been feeling well, I haven't been sleeping well. And I said, okay. I said, do you want to do it next week? And then he told me how he hadn't been sleeping, and I said, well, why don't you try like a guided meditation specific for sleep, and maybe like a hot bath or a shower before you go to bed. And then it was the day before yesterday I found out that he passed, and in the comments someone wrote that he passed in his bathtub, and it was the day after we talked. And I know it's not because of what I said to him, and I know that if I had given him a reading, it probably wouldn't have changed anything, and I can't change the way that, you know, things happened, but it really hurt that he's gone, and it's the first time that I have lost someone from my soul family, someone who first reached out and accepted me and didn't think I was crazy and was always supportive and just did so much for other people and offered them love through all of his struggles and through all of his life. And so I just wanted to talk about that today, how, you know, we're making connections with people all over the world, and if you're feeling alone, and if you're feeling like you need someone to talk to or whatever, just reach out and connect with each other. There's many groups available. I don't usually go in them as much as I used to now, because I do have a lot of stuff that I do, like in my own spiritual community, like nearby. But this was just one of those things that made me realize like how important it is and how deep the connection is between everybody and your soul family. And we are all so deeply connected through spirit, through past lives. There's so much more than we can see or understand. And I just really wanted to stress to everybody, like, if I know that shit has been difficult lately, and it seems like sometimes things is just getting worse and worse, but it's not. It's getting better, and we have bad days and we have good days, but there's always somebody out there who's loving you, and you make an impact on people's lives in every moment. I mean, just to see the outpouring of people that were in shock, and I'm still in shock. Like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, there's no way. No, he did not. Like, I didn't want to believe it. I'm like, how do you know? And the woman said, oh, I'm his cousin. And I'm like, okay, they probably know. But I just didn't want to believe it. And it's different when it's someone that you don't see in the physical. I mean, you don't expect to feel so deeply connected to it when they're taken from you. But it was really difficult. So if you're a starseed, if you're an empath, light worker, whatever, and you're feeling alone, you're feeling like you need people to communicate with and connect with, join some groups, reach out to others, talk to each other, and understand how big of an impact you make. I mean, I knew Derek made everybody happy with the group that he created, and, you know, his posts every day. We all just got used to them being there. And now that they're not, it's like there's this big empty space in our lives. And so if you're a light worker, you're also doing that. You know, sometimes you may feel like you're not, like you don't make a big difference in people's lives, but you really do. And if you were gone tomorrow, so many people would notice, because wherever you go, whatever you do, even your just day-to-day life, you're making an impact for others. You're rippling energy out there. So I just want you all to keep doing that, and to reach out and connect with others. And that is the message that I keep getting, is that we need to really like broaden our connection and reach out beyond the physical throughout the world to each other, whether it's on an energetic level or whether you're actually physically communicating with these other people. We just need each other right now to shine. And so I hope that you all have a beautiful day, and that you all realize how important you really are. And even just your morning trip to the store, you're making a difference in the people's lives when you're there seeing them, and they would notice if you were gone. And so I just feel like that's important for you guys to know, is that it doesn't matter how simple the act is that you're doing, you're always making waves. So I hope you all have a beautiful day, and I will be talking with Larry Locken tonight and doing a ceremony for Derek. And I just wanted to share that because it's been on my mind, and sometimes we need to talk about it. I love you guys.